Oh, there we are. Hello, fellow Island Riders. Glad to have you along for a Friday today. Happy Friday, by the way. I hope you're having a great Friday at least. I hope this is your Friday. If it's not your Friday, I hope it's coming soon for you and you hope you get some good time off to get on your bikes if that's what you're doing, or if you're getting out there doing a little bit of adventuring, no matter what it is. Today, I've got some work to do actually in the garage, so I figured I'd pick you up here and kind of bring you along for it, I guess. It's nothing crazy. But I do have to get the wheels off the bike because it is that time. You know, the tires for me right now, they're done. Well, the front one's actually not too bad, but you guys have been hearing me harp on the TKC 80 rear tire all season long, so it's about time to, you know, put that one away. I mean, realistically, it does have a little bit of wear left in it, but it's not too bad. But as you know, at the end of every month, I try to, you know, have a little bit of a check-in with you folks. You know, a bit time for us to kind of connect the timelines and give us an opportunity to kind of go over what's coming up on the channel, what I'm working on lately, what I'm after right now, and I got a lot of news, obviously. The regular kind of news, but still, it's all good news. Have you ever done this before? Have you ever taken the wheels off your motorcycle or KLR 650 if you're riding a KLR? That's how I do it. Usually when I bring when I want to do a tire changeover, I know a lot of people do it themselves, but for me, I really feel more comfortable letting someone who's done it many times do it instead of me who's done it a grand total of like once. And that was just to kind of test out and get the idea. Plus, you know, the big trip of the year is coming up. You know, it's the end of July right now, which means August is next month, obviously. And that's when me and Brennan are headed out on our big trip this year. So I want fresh tires on the KLR 650. But in case you haven't done it, I'll walk you through the process. It's super simple, really. The whole thing is just like take off the stuff that's connected to the wheel and then take the wheel off. But I'll run you through it real quick. Yeah, so like I was saying, it's just a matter of disconnecting everything that's basically on the wheel and then removing the wheel, right? And it's the same for the front and the back. So for the back, we gotta get the brakes off, we gotta get the chain off. For the front, we gotta get the brakes off again, but we gotta disconnect also this speedo cable there too. So yeah, the first thing to do is you try to do a lot of this stuff when it's not up on the stand. That way you have the, you know, gravity helping you out. So I like to start with the brakes. I just pop these off, and to get at those, you just start with this little bracket that holds the brake line. And from there, we're gonna run and take these two little mounting bolts off here for the actual brake caliper itself. Rear brake. What I'll do too is instead of just letting this hang around on the floor, I'll go get a zip tie or a zap strap or whatever you call them, and I'll just zap it up here to like this or something. And it just pulls off like that. And this is a great time to get a good look at your brakes and see how they're making out here. Mine are doing fairly good, and they've got a lot of wear left despite the foolishness that I've been up to with them. So I think they're going to be good. I won't have to replace them before the trip, which is nice. Next, what we'll do is we're going to back off this axle nut. Loosen. You could probably do this one a little bit later, but what we're going to do, you know, the stuff you use to adjust your chain. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this all the way and I'm going to push it all the way back. That's what's going to give me the slack to take off my chain. This is probably the most labor intensive portion of it because there's not a real good way to get like a ratchet in there or anything. You know, if you guys do know a faster way of doing this, let me know, but this is where we're going to develop all the sweat tonight. So I suppose while I'm doing the longer labor stuff, I can kind of give you an idea of, you know, a little bit about, you know, what to expect on the channel, what's coming up, what I'm kind of working on right now besides this, and give you an idea a little bit what you can expect. So what have we been up to right now? Now, I guess, if you're watching this, we finished up Song of the West, another series in our song series. You remember what I was talking about at the first of the year? We were going to do a theme this year. The theme was song. So done the Song of the West. What a great spot. I really do not get up west enough, for sure. Up west in Prince Edward Island has got so many cool things. So I'm glad I was able to kind of take the day and just kind of dedicate to exploring up there a little bit more. I really wanted to see that spot, Alaska, and it's such a cool spot. And I'll tell you too, that spot plus that other little peninsula we found, those are great campsites. Great little wild campsites by some source of water. Now I'll say this, the one with the bridge has probably got a lot of bugs, but anyway. But lately, I've been just kind of focusing on work 1.0. I haven't been doing a lot of riding, but I have still done a lot of filming. So what you can expect to see for videos that are going to come up here in the month of August is going to be a little bit more group rides. Definitely lots of group rides coming up. Now the next ones that we got coming up, we got a series called Rally to the Glen. Of course, we're headed back to the Glen again because it's always a good time up there, down east in this case, up by Surrey. But we bring along Josh, who you know from before, plus we bring along Brad. I'll introduce you to Brad. He has a 2008 KLR 650, a red one. And it was a part of a larger group ride that day that was really fun. We had, I think, about, what was the count? I think 5 was the count that day, but it was really good. It was good. And then after that, we have a really cool video because my buddy James actually comes up. James, if you don't know who James is, you should definitely check him out at 506 Moto ADV. He's got a YouTube channel there and he does a lot of really cool exploration on like his Moto Guzzi, on his CB500X, and he also has the Monk there as well. But he came up to Prince Edward Island for a weekend and we got a chance to kind of connect and hang out and ride around the island. We went from East Point all the way to Cape Tryon. So that's a really good one. That's a nice video. I'm putting that together now, and it's a good one to kind of celebrate the blacktop a little bit. I do like to take the KLR 650 on the asphalt quite a bit, and that's exactly what we did. And I kind of discuss my favorite blacktop rides on that one a little bit. So looking forward to sharing that with you. It's always a great time hanging out with James, that's for sure. All right, let's get back at this one. Man, I hate turning this stuff. You guys got to find what's the quicker way of doing this little screw here? What's the quicker way of doing this one? Maybe just lube it up a bit more. Next, we're going to take the brakes off the front. The back is pretty much primed. I can put it up on the jack now and know that I'm not missing anything over there, which is kind of good. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to remove these bolts here with just the little number 12. Ding. Oh yeah, the brakes look really good here. Not bad at all. After that, we're going to take, I guess, the rest of this. We're just going to loosen up the axle nut because I can get at the speedo cable while it's jacked up. And a 6mm Allen for these guys. What we're going to do is you're just not going to take these out, but you're just going to back them off. All right, let's get her up on the jack. A lot of people ask me where I get this jack from. I get it from Canadian Tire. It's a Moto Master jack for motorcycles and sometimes four-wheelers. I also use it on my lawnmower. But it's a little pricey. It's in the $200 range, but it makes it worth it, that's for sure. So I'm going to try and take that chain off first and get it off the sprocket, and then I'm going to think about removing the axle nut. Just roll it off like that, eh? And you just let her dangle, that's fine. So once you get that off there, you can just pretty much pull this axle right out and everything that comes with it, and then the tire will come right out. It's a good tip on two wheels trick. You just pull this castle nut out a little bit, and then you go grab a mallet or like an impact. Like this here. And just give her a tap like that, and it'll loosen up the business. And away we go. Let's have a look at her. So this officially concludes the TKC80 experiment. There's the tiniest bit of tread left on here. I got the wear indicator right there. You can see the little wear indicator there. So there is the tiniest bit of tread left, but as far as I'm concerned, they're done. But yeah, I mean, when these tires were brand new to me, they were great. They were awesome. Well, this tire, I should say, I only have one TKC80, right? I got the Shinko 804 on the front because the front got recalled, but it did do the job, that's for sure. We put this tire through everything. Mud, like grass, hard rock, hill climbs. Oh man. And I cannot wait to show you some of the most recent stuff that we kind of put it through. Man, oh man. Sorry also if I'm sweating a lot. It's actually super, super hot here. But the last really cool trip that we went on was with Hugo and the New Brunswick crew from the NBDRA, the New Brunswick Dirt Riders Association. So me, Brad, I was telling you about earlier, and David, who was out on the Africa Twin Force with the shakeout ride we did at the beginning of the season. We all saddled up and headed out to New Brunswick and hooked up with Hugo and about a group of, oh, I don't know, like 12 other riders on like light dual sports and heavy dual sports. It was amazing. We went on a really, really awesome all-day trail riding adventure and then ended in Martin Head and had a beautiful camp there on the beach. It was just awesome. Then trail riding for the rest of the day. Some ups and downs, some pretty bad downs in some cases, but I won't spoil it for you because that will be our summer series. 5 episodes long is what it's kind of looking like on paper. And it's going to be mayhem on the mainland too, because last year was mayhem on the mainland 1. So TKC80 is done. We're putting the Shinko 805 on her here. I'm just going to set this to the side. I'm going to give it to Mitch at Bulger Motorsports, and he's going to take care of the rest. Let's get the other tire off. Let's just tie this up here. Get it off the ground. Doesn't need to be dangling around like that. Chain is looking pretty good. I'm liking it. This is also a great time if you're taking your wheels off. To get a good look at some of the parts of your bike. So I checked out the sprocket over there on the rear. That's a new sprocket this season. It's actually lasting longer than any sprocket I've ever had on there. I don't know if that's because I'm more diligent with cleaning the chain. It's one of the things I wanted to do, right? This year I wanted to be way better about cleaning the bike up after hard trail riding. And I have. I've been really, really diligent about lubing the chain and keeping good chain slack adjustment. I think it's paying off because even the front sprocket, well, I'm starting to notice the wear on the front sprocket now, but it's nothing crazy like it has been. I normally burn through these sprockets, which is why I've got a bunch of them up on the wall. So the next thing we got to do is we got to get the speedo cable off the front tire. So the speedo cable is not too bad. It comes off when you take the wheel off, basically. So what we got to do is we got to, once again, we're going to back this axle nut way off until it's into the near end here. I did the same thing I did before. I just backed off the axle nut all the way to the end. I'm gonna grab my little impact here and just kind of give it a tap to get it out. And I'll just repeat that process until I've got enough space on the other side to kind of pull that bolt, or that axle rod. Axle rod, is that what it is? Of course it is. I know what I'm doing. There we go, just like that. And then before, you can see how I'm kind of like positioning my foot underneath the tire to take up the weight. Before I do that, I'm just gonna kind of like move it off. And then I'll take the speedo off here. And then if I roll everything away, you can just see the speedos right there like that. This is a Shinko 804 front. I always get lots of questions. What tires are you running, Dowski? Is usually the question I get. And my tires that I like to run are the Shinko 805 for the rear and the Shinko 804 for the rear. I got all sorts of reasons. Let me know in the comments if you want to know why. But this tire has a lot of wear left. I mean, check that out. Lots of wear. You can see the wear indicator. We've got some cupping going on, but I think what I'm going to do with this one, because tires do age out, right? You can only have tires for so long before the cracking and the weathering, starts to compromise the compounds and the actual rubber of the tire itself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably get Mitch just to pop this up, and I'll hold on to this one, and maybe if someone on the island's running the KLR and they need a front tire ASAP, I'll just toss it to them and then they'll have it for at least probably, because this one's got what? Oh man, this has got at least 4,000 kilometers left on it for sure. That TKC 80, actually I should say, has about 7,000 kilometers on it now. So that's how far we went with it. Normally my 805 on the rear gets me 10,000 to 11,000 kilometers. So there's the comparison. They're less expensive too. Anyway, I'm gonna put this one to the side, mission objective complete. We got the tires off. And there we go. And this is where the bike will sit for probably a week. But you know what? This is a good time to do some other maintenance leading up to our big trip that we have coming up here in August. And I'm super, super pumped for that. And I've been pretty hush-hush on the details. If we've gone riding together, I probably told you, because I can't, contain the excitement that I have. I've been looking forward to doing this trip for a very, very long time. And I've seen a lot of people do it. And it's gonna be the Gaspé Peninsula in Quebec. That's right. Me and Brandon are headed to the Gaspé Peninsula later on in August. And we're gonna do 7 days up through New Brunswick and then all around the peninsula and then back down. And we're gonna do it on the Trans-Quebec Trail. This is the first time that I'm gonna be doing a back road discovery route-esque, style ride. And I'm very, very excited for it. I downloaded the app for the Trans-Quebec Trail on recommendation from James, who I was talking about earlier, because he did it last year. And you know what? I'm gonna link his series he did, because he did it really, really good. He had an amazing adventure out there. Such a great video series. And of course, that's what, kind of inspired me to go with the same route. So he graciously gave me his GPX file. I went to the app there and I downloaded that, which has the whole file for that and a lot more of Quebec as well. So really looking forward to that. Yeah, it's like every other big trip. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be fun. I cannot wait to do it. So pumped. But you know what? Hats off to you guys and gals who can take your wheels off your bike and then spoon them on and spoon on new ones. I'm gonna admittedly say I'm not great at it. And for me, when I think about critical items on the bike, I think brakes, drivetrain, chain and such, and tires. These are the items that if they fail, it's a critical fail. So for me, when it comes time to putting new tires on, I leave it to the professionals every single time, because it's peace of mind for me on the road. I don't like to be worrying about the potential of things going wrong. Like bike electrical all day long, I'm all over that. I'm fine. I have tons of confidence with it. I'm fine goofing around with the wiring harness and things like that. But when it comes to stuff like the wheels, putting on new tires, I want to make sure those tires are good. And I know if I had send them down to Bolger Motorsports, Mitch and the crew down there take care of me every single time. And I found it's less expensive and faster, if you take the wheels off in advance, right? So if you're thinking about spooning on new tires, let me know. What are your strategies? I think their overall strategies, you soap it, right? And you spoon it around. There's mechanisms for doing it all. Maybe one day. But do you take it into the shop? Don't be ashamed to do that. That's fine. My God, the sweat. The sweat is outrageous here. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I hope you're having a great summer despite the crazy heat that we've had. If you're sweating it up on the trails, or if you're enjoying the cool breeze and open air out on the blacktop, I hope you're having a great time. And there's lots more awesome adventures coming up in Island ADV. We are on the backside of summer, unfortunately, but that only means that the fall is just around the corner. And once we get into the fall, we get into the winter, which means the trip series will be edited and will be live later on near the end of the winter. So wherever you're riding, please ride safe. Until the next time we chat, be it here in the garage or be out there on the road. Take care, Island Riders.